8:30. It is Monday, the third Monday of the month, which is the night that I have a new CE call. But it's really, it's sort of a misnomer. It's, lately it's been whoever, everybody should really be on the call, because I feel like it's just a great chance to gather in a, 30 minutes of your time on a Monday night. And it's a chance for everybody to be on the same call at one time, or as many people as possible. So I'm really excited that you guys are here. I'm excited that we're doing another new CE call, but there's definitely people on this call that are not new CE, so I'm glad to see you guys here too. So I'm just going to do some announcements and sort of general housekeeping things real quick. This is Erin Woods, by the way. It might say Catherine Stewart is talking, but we use Catherine's account for go-to training, which is an amazing thing that we are able to do, and I'm always so thankful to Catherine. I don't even know if she's on the call, but thank you, Catherine. But it is a little bit weird because it says that it's Catherine talking, but this is Erin, I swear. And I'm just always so pleased that we can use Catherine's account to do this, because it means we can stream our meetings and record them. So a couple of announcements. The first thing, Wednesday night, this upcoming Wednesday, day after, oh no, just kidding, a week from Wednesday on the 24th, we're having our next legacy event. This is, for those of you that are not familiar, it is a tool for you to use if you are, well, everybody should be trying to sponsor and having people that they think would be great, compassionate entrepreneurs on their team. And so this is a tool that you can use to kind of invite them and have a very non-threatening, introduction into Trains of Hope. Not that there's anything threatening about Trains of Hope, but it just sometimes is nice to have a way to break the ice, and give you a tool for conversation. And so the legacy event is something I started a few months ago, and it's been working really, really well. I've gone ahead and made the commitment to do 2 a month, and it's just a Facebook event, and it's on either a Wednesday night or a Sunday night once a month at 8 o'clock at night, and it's 30 minutes long. And I have 7 posts, and they kind of run the gamut of, an introduction to what Trades of Hope is and who our founders are, to, vision trips and the artisans and the business opportunity, and, kind of like, what other questions do you have, and let's start the conversation with the person that invited you here tonight. So the intention is that it's a personal invitation that you have extended to somebody. You invite them to the event, and then you say, hey, I've invited you to this event, and I would love if you could come. It's also up for about a week after it occurs, so even if they couldn't physically come that night during the 30-minute feed, they can go back later and read through the posts. So the next one is on June 24th. You have to ask me or your sponsor to invite you. Veronica, Crystal, and Mary have all been invited, so if they are your upline, you can ask them for an invite, or you can just ask me, and I try to keep on top of who would like to attend. But it's really great. Some of you are CEs, I know, because you attended a legacy event. So it's a great tool. So please take advantage of it. Our next team meeting is going to be July 6th, which is a Monday. Next month, obviously. I don't have an exact time yet, and we have a location, but I don't want to announce it officially until I have 100% confirmation that we can use it. But I'm really excited, because as long as everything falls into place, we will be screening the film that Veronica had mentioned a little while ago that has recently been released, called The True Cost, and it's all about the garment industry. I keep saying I kind of don't want to watch it, but I don't know where I'm going to buy my clothes, but hopefully I'll still have options. But I think it would be a wonderful thing to watch as a team, and we have a copy of it to show. And so the venue where we're going to hold the meeting is going to be conducive to that. So that's going to be July 6th, the plan to come. If you're local, of course. If you're not local, that one's going to be tough to stream. We're not going to stream the film, so we will probably not do a live streaming of our July meeting. Just a heads up. Other things that are going on this month, just to make sure that you're paying attention and in the know, not missing stuff. I am having a $500 PRV challenge for you guys for Small Things Great Love, where for every $500 in personal retail volume that you have this month, you get an entry into a drawing for a basket of business supplies. So that could mean if you sell $1,000, you get 2 entries. If you sell $2,000, you get 4 entries. I think last I counted, we've got like 35, 40 entries already. So it's amazing. You guys are having a great June. We're midway through the month, and it's June is a challenging month. It's hard. And so the fact that things are going this well for so many of you is really awesome. So this is just sort of a way to encourage you. And also, $500 is the average Trades with Hope party. So just hosting or having one party could get you that entry, and it would also get your business going. So many of you are brand new, and my biggest advice for what to do first is just have a party. Host it yourself, find a willing hostess, but don't worry about whether or not you're ready, whether it's perfection for your display or your presentation. Just jump in there with your cue cards and your kit products and have a party, because you learn so much by doing. And so this $500 PRV incentive from me is also to encourage you just to go out there and have a party. The home team has an incentive out it's a sponsorship incentive for June, July, and August. For every CE that you bring on, it becomes a qualified CE. You earn coupons for free products, which is really cool. And I don't know if you guys saw Gretchen's post today, but they are offering an additional prize to the first 5 people who get a qualified CE. So who knows what that is, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So pay, look at that, take a peek at that, and these things are all put out there as tools for you and your goal setting to help you, have something tangible that you're striving towards. So go for it. Also, of course, it's the 15th of the month, which means that our promotions came out today. So we run promotions from the 15th to the 15th, and that has not always been the case, but we've changed that in the last few months because we found that when everything was ending on the last day of the month, it was really chaotic, and the system couldn't handle the volume and all kinds of things. So just to sort of help us right now while we're still kind of having some growing pains with some of our system stuff, they're doing this 15th to 15th, and I think it's really great. So the new pieces that are out, the Threads of Peace necklace is the same as our Threads of Love, which is out a few months ago. It is made by our group in Haiti, Haiti Design Co-op, and they support a maternity center called Heartline Ministries that's been in Haiti in Port-au-Prince for 25 years. It's run by a woman named Beth McCool, and we were there last year and had a chance to tour and meet Beth. And it's an incredible program. And Haiti Design Co-op was originally it was part of Heartline and a way for the pregnant moms to have employment, and then after they had the babies to also have employment. And so, but now it's grown so much, it's become this whole separate entity, and it still employs and partners with Heartline, so it employs a lot of the women that are going through the maternity program there. Heartline, just so you know, the maternity program, as soon as a woman is identified and she is pregnant, and she commits to the program, she gets weekly prenatal checkups, and so the health of her child and her prenatally are very well attended to. All along during her pregnancy, she's learning, taking child care classes, infant care classes, breastfeeding classes, all kinds of things to prepare her for the birth of her child. And then she has the baby at the center at Heartline. They have midwives, and they have the babies there, and then they stay there for their postpartum time period. And then for the 6 months after the baby's born, they come every week and continue to take classes. They have Bible study, and they bring their babies and learn about child development and all kinds of wonderful things. So it's really an incredible ministry that we are supporting through the sale of the Threads of Peace necklace. That necklace is also unique because those beads are made out of t-shirts. And the process was developed at Heartline and Haiti Design Co-op as a way to employ more women. Originally, they were a sewing program, and some women could not pass the sewing test, and they didn't want to not give them a job, so they developed this unique bead, and now there are women that are able to have a job and work in that capacity and not just be restricted to having sewing as an option. And so, you know, if you don't have one yet, I just ordered mine today, but I have the Threads of Love. It's very lightweight. It's a really just a great piece. I hope that you sell a lot of them. I hope we sell out of them just like we did the Threads of Love, because it's a great piece. It's a ministry and a group, an artisan group that we only carry the campus bag from at this point. And I would love for us to carry more from them, because I love what they're doing. You know, the maternity center is incredible. Okay, and then of course the other one is the identity bracelet with the free Indu earrings, and that's pretty self-explanatory. So of course you want to sell a lot of identity bracelets because you want to support our sweet girls at Casa Hogar in Jalapa, Guatemala. And of course those are girls that I've, you know, I just was with them a couple weeks ago. So but get out there and sell some identity bracelets for Karen and Rosa and Susie and Ilma and all the sweet girls at Casa Hogar. Okay, so that was a lot of updating and housekeeping, but hopefully it gave a chance for some more people to get on. It looks like we've got about 17 tonight, so that's great. I really just want to, you know, talk a little bit about my trip this weekend and kind of why I did it, how it all kind of came about, and what I learned, and how you can take away things from that experience. I mean, everything I want to do for you guys is, what did I do, what did I learn from it, and how can I give that to you guys in a way that you can use it and learn from it and you know, go forward in your business more boldly and more prepared than I did. Just a tiny little bio for some of you that don't know. I am a director. I've been a director since for almost a year now, and I've been a compassionate entrepreneur since March 11th of 2013, so just over 2 years. And obviously I really, really love what I'm doing, and I've you know, had a lot of great growth and opportunity in the last year and a half is when things really, or even years, when things really, really took off. My first 9 months were very, very slow. I know people don't really believe that or would think that, but I was just kind of cruising along for a while there. And it was funny because I was talking to a couple of the CEs that came up to meet me in Manhattan yesterday. They came over from New Jersey, and I was saying that. I was telling, you know, them that, yeah, you know, my first 9 months, I did parties, and I didn't sponsor anybody. You know, if somebody was a CE on my team in those first 9 months, it was because they asked me to join. It was not because I was actually actively seeking out people or understanding even the value of sponsorship. And I think I had 5 accidental CEs after my first 9 months. And but it was really at that first retreat that I looked around me and I realized what I was truly a part of, and that if I just changed a couple of little things and gave a little bit more attention to my business, and that was what I didn't really click with, that what I had was a business, and if I just changed a couple of small things, I really could be doing more and more and more. And so that was the beginning of a lot of big shifts for me personally. I didn't have the strong leadership that, you know, so I learned a lot along the way, just kind of by trial and error. So I'm hoping, my hope and goal is to give you guys more sooner so that you can move faster if that's your desire, and you don't have these like moments where you're like, oh wow, what have I been doing the last 6 months? I thought I was doing pretty good, but I could have been doing so much more, or I could have, you know, been achieving goals that maybe you thought were impossible. And I'm here to tell you that you can do anything that you want to do, whether your goals are small or big, or, you know, you can do anything you want. And sometimes it takes somebody telling you that they believe in you to help you realize that you can believe in yourself. But you know, anything's possible. Okay, so I've kind of gotten off track. So most of you know, because I was posting like a mad woman this weekend, I was on a little like mid-Atlantic tour this weekend. My sister lives in Baltimore. I went to Baltimore on Friday, And then she and I drove up to Philadelphia on Saturday, and then I drove to New York, or we took a train and went to New York City on Sunday, and then I flew home last night from New York City. And, this all came about 6 months ago. I guess after the retreat, after I found out about Chelsea's tour, and I thought that was really neat. But I kind of like the reason I don't have a Twitter account. Like, I just feel like nobody really cares that much about what I'm doing or what, like, why would anybody care if I came to visit, and I just didn't see the value necessarily at that point of me doing something like that. But then I was talking to another CE on our team, and she was telling me that she was thinking about going on a little tour, just really to her hometown and, hitting a couple of stops along the way, like a little road trip. And I thought, well, gosh, maybe that's not a bad idea. Like, maybe it's more about, people that I know in other areas of the country, like my sister, that would be willing to have a party for me if I was, if I actually went there, how much more valuable that would be than if I just did a Facebook party with her, that kind of thing. And so I thought about my sister, and I thought that would be a good place to start. And so I mentioned it to my husband, and I thought, and then we kind of came up with the itinerary idea, and I had people in each city that I was sort of starting with as my base, and I was hoping to build from there. And yeah, my husband was like, go for it, just see what happens. And so I really wanted to make the most of every minute that I had this weekend. And so it was cool. It was different because, I went, my sister had the party on Friday night, and she had a great turnout. She had 12 people there, and I was doing a presentation. And, normally I would say, so, every single one of you, I'm sure, is wanting to host a party, and I can't wait for the incredible ripple effect that you guys are going to make with your parties. Well, and I said that. It's like, normally I would say that. But obviously I flew up from Florida. I was leaving the next day, and I would not be back. And so parties were not why I was there. And I said to them, I'm just laying this out there. I'm looking for compassionate entrepreneurs. I'm looking for people in this area. There are not very many of them, and I feel so strongly about this that I flew here this morning, and I'm asking you to rack your brain. And what was cool is that nobody was offended. Everybody was like, oh wow, yeah, of course, you flew here, you came all the way all this distance, of course we're going to help you out. And if it wasn't a good fit for them, they were brainstorming about who they know, and and that sort of thing, like trying to give me names and of their sister, their friend, or their neighbor, whoever that they thought that would be interested. And so it was really cool because both parties that I did, the Baltimore one and the Philadelphia one, turned into like these like girl power think tank like brainstorming sessions. And I thought, I could, because that's happened a couple of times in a local party, but I thought, I could probably do this locally even more. Like I could be more kind of like now or never almost with my parties, that there is a sense of urgency. And I talk about that sometimes with you guys, like, our artisans are waiting, like they need us to be working now, not working later, and not, so when I create a sense of urgency in a party like that, in a way that people are getting excited, and they're like, oh yeah, my sister that lives in, like I had one girl, my sister lives in Fairfax, I want to do a party with her. Okay, I want to be a CE, and then I'm going to go over and do a party with her so she can be a CE. And I'm like, yes. And I was just thinking about, I could do this locally too. So, one of the big things that I took away, and that I've always said is important, is that enthusiasm is contagious, and creativity is contagious. And when you create an environment at your party that is exciting and uplifting, and people are like, I got to figure out how to make something happen with this wonderful opportunity that's been laid at our feet. You don't have to fly halfway across the country to do that. You can do that in your own party. And that goes back to my less is more call about, not necessarily dragging everybody down into the depths of sorrow with your presentation, that, that the hope and the light and the joy of the opportunities that we are creating is the direction you want to go. And then what they can do, they meaning the party guests, like they can do a lot. When you tell them about shop, host, and join, like the 3 ways that they can be a part of Trades of Hope, like make sure they hear shop, host, and join. And you talk about join first, because joining is so powerful. And when you take the, you break the ice a little bit or take off the pressure or whatever it is, and you understand, of course you understand, not every single person at a party is going to be a perfect fit for a compassionate entrepreneur. I don't want people to sign up that it's not a good fit for. That's not what I'm interested in. We're not playing numbers here in terms of like, it's not, that's smart me. I want people to love it and want to be a part of it. But if it's not right for them for whatever reason, I want them to think about who it would be right for in their life. I mean, that's why Holly chose home parties, or was so drawn to the home party business model for Trades of Hope, is because when women get together, there's a lot of power. There's a lot of power in networks of women and friendships, and who do you know, and down down the line of your networks. And so when you tap into that at a party and you create that space for excitement and brainstorming and think tanking, then amazing things can happen. And I think sometimes it's just a going into a party with the right mindset. And so this weekend was definitely a good reminder to me that I can do this. I don't have to fly away and just do it there. I can do that here, and you can do it from where you are. You can create an environment and a space for your guests to be empowered, not just to shop, but and not just to host and not just to join, but to give you ideas and help partner with you right then and there as to what they can do to be a part of this mission. And that's wonderful. Everybody wants to be a part of it. That's why Trades of Hope is amazing. Like, it's so much more than just a cute necklace. It's an opportunity to make a woman feel and not just feel, but be a part of something greater than herself. And that's what, I know I crave that. I know that's why I originally became a CE, was because I wanted something that was outside of myself and be able to contribute to the greater good in a significant way, despite the limitations of my day-to-day life and having a newborn and a toddler at home. I mean, it was so incredible to have that gift of Trades of Hope, and you can give that gift to every single woman at every single one of your parties, not just through shopping, not just through hosting, not just through joining, but through working with you, partnering with you to generate even more ideas and give you the name and number of her sister or her sister-in-law or somebody that she knows. And I think if you present it in that way, that we're all kind of brainstorming together, that nobody's going to be offended by that. I mean, they certainly weren't this weekend. They were excited and on board, and I mean, it was a blast. We had so much fun at these parties because everybody was just like, you become the CE and I'll have a party with you. And like the Philly party, there were 2 girls that were really strongly, probably going to be CEs, and then like 3 others were already booking parties with them. I mean, it was just awesome, and like, everybody was jumping in. So just remember, so think about that. Enthusiasm is contagious, and creativity is contagious, and create that environment and that space in your parties. I have to think, I mean, I know less is more, and simplicity just rules. Like, when I was packing and thinking about taking a road trip, I've already talked about how my display is pretty simple, and I've pared it down to 2 bags, but I still couldn't take those 2 bags with me on the plane and up to do this trip. So I was determined to fit as much as possible in my Bombay tote, and you would not believe what I was able to put in there. Of course, I left bowls at home and, larger things like that, but I brought most of my scarves and a large portion of jewelry, and was able to do a really nice display with with just my Bombay tote. And now I've even rethought my display even more. I'm like, maybe I should just use this and have maybe one other bag with a couple of bowls in it, and just even pare it down more, because it certainly did not affect sales. It did not affect people's ability to understand how beautiful our pieces were, and it was great for me because I just carried my Bombay tote with me, from city to city. So simplicity continues to be the name of the game, and that should, I feel like that's a huge relief. I feel like you put so much potentially pressure on yourself to have again, the perfect display or the perfect presentation. Guys, you've got cue cards, and you've got the necklace stands that you can buy in the back office, and you get your kit, and I guarantee you have a soap dish or a candle holder or a little plate or something around your house that you can use to hold a bracelet in or something, and you lay a scarf down as a runner, and you've got a display. Like, feature our products. You don't need anything else. You don't need bells and whistles. And that was just confirmed again for me this weekend. And then the last thing that I really was a big takeaway for me was connecting with CEs, because on Friday night there was a CE that was supposed to come, and she canceled last minute. She's not on our team, but she lives in that area, and she was going to come. So I was kind of bummed because I wanted to meet her. But Saturday, Jolynn came over from New Jersey. She came to the party and that I was doing outside of Philadelphia. And it was awesome. It was so awesome. And she's only been a CE for a month. And, obviously I've never met her. And she came to the party, and then she came out to dinner with us afterwards. And, it was just great to meet her, to now have that connection with her. And vice versa, for her to have met me and know that she can reach out to me. I mean, she does anyway, but to have that face, that person with a voice and a picture and a name on Facebook is just really important. But that doesn't mean that, like, I don't have to go everywhere, but you can find people in your area. And some of you have done that, and it's amazing. I know, like in California, you guys are making a little group. Wisconsin has a group. Darcy and Betty and Christine out in, like, the Utah, Colorado area are forming a little group. I just think connecting with somebody face to face is really important. And even if it's somebody you sponsored and they're local to you, try to get together, try to talk, at least try to have a phone conversation once a month, or check in with each other. And you should never feel like you are on an island. And so when I met with Ellie Post and Karen Pete and Linda Jenkins yesterday in New York, it was just great. It's just great to, like, talk shop and share stories. And for Ellie and Karen, they got to hear a lot of Linda and I's firsthand accounts of our experiences in Haiti and Costa Rica and Guatemala, because between the two of us, we've been all of those places. And, it was great. And like, now they're going back kind of, excited and fired up and ready to do more, because they've connected with somebody in their area. So if that's possible, and I know some of you are pioneers, and that is so brave, and some of you are, you're pioneers because you are kind of on an island in terms of geography. Like, you are, there's no CEs within 100 miles or 500 miles, and that is both thrilling and terrifying, and I understand that. So find somebody to reach out to. A lot of you guys text me, which I love. I love that. I really do. I love hearing from you. And, so ask for what you need. If you're feeling like you don't know what to do, then there is someone you can reach out to, be it, whether it's your sponsor or it's me or it's Marianne. Somebody is there and will help you, figure it out. But I will tell you that, again, my number one thing right now is just have a party. Go into your back office, learn enough that you can set up a party in your party portal, look over your cue cards, figure out how you're going to lay out your products so that they are, most featured, and then just have a party. You don't learn until you do, and then you begin your process of personal growth and your journey through this experience, because that is a huge part of it. Your confidence will grow. The words that you have in your mouth will just multiply. Like, I feel like things just pour out of me sometimes, and it was not that way at the beginning. I mean, I didn't have cue cards. They didn't exist. I had a presentation that I had typed up that I'm sure was too long and too wordy, and I held it in my hand and I read it for a long time. Like, it wasn't just my first party that I did it that way. It was for a long time, until, I built up my own confidence in speaking in front of a group of adults. I was great in front of students. I was great in front of high school kids. But adults it was really, really hard. So, but the only way to get better at that is to do it. And, you know, facing your fear and doing it anyway, and being bold, and, you know, knowing with 100% certainty that what you are doing is good, and that you can go into parties and create that environment for empowerment, not just for the artisans, but for the women that are coming as guests to your events. And your hostesses are just precious, precious partners. Love them. And then they will become CEs on your team, and that's how things just sort of evolve. But you have to start by just pulling the Band-Aid off and having that first party. That's kind of all. That's 30 minutes on the dot, so I mean, I'm not going to continue to ramble. So if you guys want to ask any questions, I'm open to questions, of course, and feel free to type in anything. Can you guys hear me? I just got to, there we go. I needed to scroll down. You guys have been talking this whole time. Okay, great. My chat wasn't scrolling. Okay, there we go. Yeah, welcome, Laura. Congratulations. That's awesome. A qualified CE is someone who has sold $1,000 since the day that they've started. And once you have done that, you are a qualified CE, and you can earn bonuses. So you have the opportunity to earn 2%, 3%, and 5% bonuses every month based on your PRV. $500, $1,000, $3,000 in PRV consecutively earn you those bonuses. But you have to be qualified to be able to earn the bonuses. It is awesome. How do you keep hosting parties month after month without tapping out your friend and family circles? Well, like me personally, I don't host parties month after month. I say that more as like a way to get started if you don't have a hostess at this point. I mean, of course, the ideal situation is to have a hostess, not you, but a hostess who is going to invite people that you don't know. That is your number one goal. Yeah, the booking magnet call has managed to hold up pretty well over the past year, but yes, you got to book parties from parties. And the only way that you do that, Melanie, is to have people there that you don't know. And I say this all the time, too, that I want all of my relationships with hostesses and party guests and all, you know, I want my relationships in that area of this, you know, this area of my life to be based on trades of hope. So that means they weren't somebody I used to work with. They aren't my friend. They aren't, you know, I really want them to be strangers who know me as the Trades of Hope girl. and that is what 99% of my business is and has been. I've had a few hostesses in 2 years that have been friends and family, but it's really, really important. No, $300 a month for your own hostessing? No. You just have to have $300 a month in PRV, which is personal retail volume, which means things that you sold through any party, not a party that you hosted, just any sales, $300. Yeah. You don't have to host a party every month. No. I always have something that's open that is like when I was going to Guatemala, I had a party that was open for Guatemala. So when I would post something about my trip, I would put, you know, a link that was a party that was being hosted by me, but it was just an online thing. Like right now I have a Father's Day thing that's open. So, you know, so that if I get random orders, I can kind of collect them together. Yeah, so, okay, hopefully that clears that up. Why do you have to have $300? You don't have to, Laura. That is once you begin sponsoring and you begin building a team, to earn that additional commission and bonuses and things, which is compensating you for the additional training and things that you're doing to help people, you know, be successful that you have sponsored. To earn that money, you have to have $300 in PRV. So, like for me, I could never sit back and, I mean, I could sit back and I guess have one tiny little party every month, but I would never ever do that. I never want to stop having a thriving business because I love it and I want to continue to grow and I want to walk the walk and you know, be a good example. But I would always have to have that $300 a month in personal sales to continue to earn the additional income that I earn because I have built a team. Thanks. What other questions? Yeah, Laura, it's just once you become, I mean, it's day one, so give yourself 24 hours. But yeah, once you become, once you're on the career track, which just means that you have sponsored someone, you're on the career track. I used to think that you had to like ask to be on the career track, but you don't. You're just automatically on it. Then, oh, you have. Well, there you go. So you're on the career track. So to become a lead CE, which would be the next thing for you, since you have somebody on your team, and collect that additional percentage, then you would need to have $300. Lynn, do you visit other countries other than Haiti, Guatemala, and Costa Rica? Not yet, but the long-term plan is, there is potential for other trips. I mean, those 3 countries are very easy to get to. They have, it's not that it's an easy trip, but it's just doable within a 5 or 6 day window. And so for now, those are just great examples and compelling. I mean, when you go and see in those places, you are seeing truly the impact that we're having in a very, very obvious and incredible way. But I've heard Holly and Gretchen talk about India and talk about India's always been the one that seems like it comes up more and more. I don't think we'll ever go to Cambodia on a vision trip. But yeah, there's always possibilities. Heather, wondering if you have any pointers on having a basket party for someone to take into their workplace? Yeah, a lot of people have done them, and there's a lot of different ways. There is not like a perfect way. I've done a few of them. I haven't done it in a basket. I've done it in the Eastern jute bag, and I just put, I don't know, I ask them if there's any specific products that they want, and then I just put in what I think that people would want to see. So I think I give them like 6 to 8 products, put them in the bag, and then I do a little write-up for the hostess of each product so that she can talk about it a little bit and not just, read the artisan card, but actually have a little bit of insider, information about each of the products. I also try to do kind of a sampling of the countries so they're not all, from the same place. And then I give her a flyer, like multiple copies of a flyer that has the information about, little information about Trades of Hope, but in bold, the shopping link for her party, so that people can stop by, for the lunch hour thing or whatever. They stop by the break room, they look at the stuff, they hear a little bit, they're like, oh, this is neat, and they take that flyer with them back to their desk, and then they can hop online and place their order. And I've done it where I've dropped off the bag on a Monday and I've picked it up on a Friday. That seems to work pretty well. Or if I need it because I've got a party and I don't want to give up the products, I'll just, do it over a shorter period of time. But that's kind of the general thing. But a couple people have done them lately and been quite successful. I can't remember who. I would do a search on the Facebook pages for basket party and see what threads come up, or workplace party. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I think creativity is great with parties. You gotta be creative. We live in a busy world, and people are always going to give you the excuse that they're too busy, or that they don't do home parties. So, okay, fine. Let me figure out a way to make this work. You gotta be creative. So that's one way that is creative and can be very good, very successful. Anything else for the good of the order? I got in at 2 a.m. last night. Oh my gosh, my flight was delayed. So I started my weekend at my Friday morning at 3:30 a.m. and then I ended it. I think I was in bed, asleep by about 3 a.m. So it was bookended by 3 a.m., which is not a time that I like to be awake. So, you guys have any more questions for me? Well, thank you guys so much for being on the call tonight. I really, those who show up, go up. I mean, this is part of that connectivity, and every little thing that you do matters. Small things with great love. You do all of these little things, and they add up to great love and great impact and success. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go eat dinner and go to bed. You guys have a great night. Thank you again for coming. Bye.